My friends think that my mom is a tiger mom, strict, demanding, and a little bit scary. When I told my friends that I couldn't go to prom, they gasped at me and looked at me with big doe eyes as they thought up plans to kidnap me. When I told them that I can't drive yet, they stuck their foot down and said that it's my right as a teenager to be able to drive. I even had a girl come up to me once and tell me that if she were me, she would have run away from home. Somehow my friends pity me and end up vilifying my mom. And that hurts me because my mom isn't a villain. They just don't know her story. But I do. When my mom was 26, she married my dad. And it was somewhat of an arranged marriage, but she didn't have to marry anyone she didn't want to. She just knew that this was probably her last chance to come to America. My dad was 38 with an established career and a dashing smile, and to my ambitious mother, that's all that it took. In just 10 days, they got married, and 2 weeks after that, they moved to America, a land where she didn't know the languages or the customs. All that she took with her was her hopes, her dreams, and her husband's promises of a new and better future. My dad used to enchant my mom with stories of what a great place America would be. He said that there was this one restaurant that could fix my mom a breakfast in under a minute, complete with scrambled eggs, a hot biscuit, and a sausage. It turns out he was talking about McDonald's. And this was just one of the many disillusionments that my mom faced when she tried to start anew. It turns out my dad was a divorcee, and he was a little tight on money. My mom lived with her in-laws who didn't treat her the greatest. And just 2 years after coming to America, she was pregnant with her first child, and life only got harder from there. Since my mom didn't have a college education, she had to get a job at a factory packing boxes. She worked long hours a day while trying to raise her first daughter, wondering when she could come home to hold her again. It wasn't the glamorous life that she had expected. It's important to consider that when my mom was in Vietnam, she had status and money. Everyone loved her. So switching from that lifestyle to a place where she had to pack boxes for a living was taxing. And sure, the physical labor was demanding, but it was really the wear on her dignity that made it even worse. My mom knew that there was only one way she could turn her life around, and that was to get an education. So with barely any money and 2 children, she decided to go back to college. My earliest memories were spent in the preschool that her university offered or hanging out in the lunchroom eating French fries and drinking 50-cent milk. Sometimes she would even take me to class with her and let me fool around on a computer or play video games. In just 4 years, my mom graduated college just like she had planned, and she got a job as a web developer for the VA. And 14 years after that, here I am, attending one of the best high schools in America. Watching my mom struggle for the first few years of my life is the start to a complex mother-daughter relationship that I feel is stronger than most. Wherever my mom went, she took me with her, and she taught me the value of time, money, and integrity. My mother's story echoes the story of many immigrant parents who give up so much, not for themselves, but for their children. My mom sacrificed everything that she had so that I could go to school in the best country in the world. So when my friends ask me why my parents are so strict, or how I stay sane in such a household, I tell them the story of my mother. And I try to capture the vast and unending amount of gratitude and love I have for her, and how that transcends the little privileges that I'm not allowed to have. I don't agree with everything that my mother does. I think she can get a little paranoid sometimes. She still collects those newspaper articles about teenagers dying from doing stupid teenager things, and then she'll wave them in my face saying, "See, Gina, this is why I don't let you do things." But just because I don't agree with her doesn't mean that I'm going to rebel. And definitely doesn't mean that I hate her or resent her in any way, shape, or form. It's actually quite the opposite. I love my mother. And I appreciate her and respect her too much than to throw a hissy fit about not being able to hang out with my friends for a day. The things that I can't do, drive, go to prom, hang out with the mall with my friends, will never be worth more than what I can do. Go to Niqua, travel the world, live in an affluent community. I am often scared of forgetting how privileged I am. And the moment I forget that is the moment where all of my mother's efforts would have been a waste. And my mother's effort is precious and priceless and unrepayable. My mother isn't an evil person who keeps me trapped away from society, as some people seem to believe. She doesn't distrust me, she doesn't hate me, and she definitely doesn't want me to suffer. All my mom wants is for me to succeed. and I want to succeed. For my mother.